what he brought. As surely as the Lord lives, I will run after him and get something from him. See, we got some people who would say, now you know you should have took that right there. But if God ain't told you to accept that, and God gives you an assignment to bless somebody and not take anything from them, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to bless that person and go on. But when you hang with people who are attached to you that are selfish and greedy, they going to say, nah, you let them get off with too much right there. Not understanding that your mandate, that your assignment is from God. It's not from man. That's why I keep telling y'all, don't take your eyes off of God, because man will have you out here doing things that you ain't got no business. They will have you attached to money bags that ain't even got your name on it, and that money dirty. And guess what? Let me keep it going. By all means, after the servant then left and called up with Naaman in them. By all means, let me go back to it. No, wait a minute. Okay, go back to 21, y'all. Actually, no, go back to number 20. After Naaman had traveled some distance, Gehazi, the servant of Elisha, the man of God, said to himself, my master was too easy on Naaman, this Aramean, by not accepting from him what he brought. As surely as the Lord lives, I will run after him and get something from him. So Gehazi hurried after Naaman. When Naaman saw him running toward him, he got down from the chariot to meet him. Is everything all right? He asked. Everything is all right, Gehazi answered. My master sent me to say, listen to what he said. My master sent me to say, 2 young men from the company of the prophets have just come in to me from the hill country of Ephraim. Please give them a talent of silver and 2 sets of clothing. In other words, this servant is telling Naaman, who said that he was, that the prophet already told him, you don't owe me. Go on about your business. Go in peace. And the prophet's servant then went behind the prophet's back and said, we got 2 student prophets coming in who need help with their expenses. Let's say it like that. They need help with their expenses. Please give them a talent of silver and 2 sets of clothing. By all means, take 2 talents, said Naaman. He urged Gehazi to accept them, and then tied up the 2 talents of silver in 2 bags with 2 sets of clothing. He gave them to 2 of his servants, and they carried them ahead of Gehazi. Gehazi is the man who is doing the underhanded work. When Gehazi came to the hill, he took the things from the servants and put them away in the house. He sent the men away, and they left. You hear what it said? It said he took those talents. He took the money that was given. He took the clothes that was given and put them in his house and hid them. It said, and he put them away. So he took that stuff. So when he went in and stood before his master Elisha, asked him, where have you been, Gehazi? Your servant didn't go anywhere, Gehazi answered. But Elisha said to him, was not my spirit with you when the man got down from his chariot to meet you? Is this the time to take money or to accept clothes or olive groves and vineyards or flocks and herds or male and female slaves? Naaman's leprosy will cling to you and to your descendants forever. Then Gehazi went from Elisha's presence, and his skin was leprous. It had become as white as snow. In other words, Gehazi went and lied. We have people who will stand with us in our face, and as soon as they find out what our deal is, they'll go behind our back and say, hey, these expenses, so-and-so got expenses. You need to come help out. They'll have you in a trap. They'll have you in a mess. Did you see that man and his crooked self, he done got leprosy now and all his descendants to come. Just by him going out telling a lie. By him going out telling a lie on the prophet. So you got to be careful of these people who you get attached to, who just love money and are so greedy with it and in love with it to the point where they don't see God for anything, where they don't think they're going to ever need God for anything, because they don't think it's ever going to rain in their life. They think the little rain that they got now is about all they're going to see, and they don't see what's ahead of them. So when it comes down to your finances and your expenses, you have to take financial control. This man tried to control Naaman's money. And he didn't realize that when he took that money in those clothes, Naaman was passing off what he was delivered from. Ain't that something? Mm-hmm. Ain't that something? All right, y'all. So basically what I want you to do now for your homework, since you've already done your SWOT analysis and your scope, I want you to really go back over it now that I've explained what it is and see if you need to add anything or take anything out. And then I want you to write a financial objective. The financial objective that I want you to write is actually, what are your plans? It's kind of like your goal. It's kind of like your goal. What is your financial goal for this year? How do you plan on achieving that? Write your objective, because that's going to go into your financial scope. And go ahead and write your goal out, too. Y'all remember when we talked about the aims and goals? Mm-hmm. Go ahead and write that out, too. And I encourage y'all to continue to study a little bit more about Naaman and that servant who was sneaky and greedy and thought he was doing something. And I guarantee you'll see when there was a time in your life that you probably was that servant too. I mean, when I was reading that, I said, my God, I've been like that. Back when I was doing my thing, selling drugs and bootlegging and stuff, I was like that. It was people, I would hear them talking about a good deal, and I would say, well, let me get to it before they get to it. Guess what? Matter of fact, this is a good example of it, too. It was a Cutlass Supreme, 1986. Beautiful little pink thing, fresh paint job. I heard some guys talking about going to get that car. And I said, you know what? I'm going to get to it before they do. I took my money down there and brought that car, brought it back home. Guess what happened? Motor blew slam up. Motor blew slam up. Went back, had to take the car back. Motor blew up. The everything was just bad on the car. The electric wires were bad. Windows wouldn't go up and down. But when I first went to go check it out, the car ran good and everything. It was when I got it back home. You see, Gehazi got that stuff back home, and he put it away. It was when I got it home and put it in the yard, it blew up. So we got to be careful of the things we bring home. Glory to God. Yeah. Glory to God. And we got to trust God for our resources. Know that God is taking care of you, and any lack that you're going through, say that it's already done. Go ahead and claim the abundance on that lack. Even though I didn't see it, it was more than what I had. I think people misunderstand what abundance is. The whole time I was sitting there, I didn't have anything fancy, but I would look at people, they say they've been to the restaurant and they ate eggs and stuff, tell how much that was costing at the restaurant. Guess what? I was here cooking eggs and stuff. And it would look just as good and tasted just as good as the restaurant. So we have to make sure that we trust God for these resources and that we don't let the things of this world cloud our head and our minds and tell us that we're nobody or that we're less than or that we have to stress because we don't have certain things or maybe it's not even up to our standards. There's a prayer you need to pray. God, show me who my supporters are. God, show me where my resources are. God, show me myself when it comes to my spending habits. You need to pray these things to God. He will reveal. He will reveal to you really. He will. He will show you exactly who you are. He will lead you through those still waters to where your supporters are. All of that, your resources, grants, all that. Whatever you need help in, That's what God is for. He's here to help us. He's not here to put us down or make us have any more burdens. It's not God's job to be bothersome. He is not here to be bothersome to us. That's why he says, cast all your anxieties and fears upon the Lord. Jesus already died for this, so all we got to do is enjoy it. Get out here and live and do what's right, and not be influenced by any and everybody and all the things that we see on TV and Facebook and stuff. You know, leave the influence to people, to those who don't believe in him. Let me say it like that. Leave the influence to those who don't believe what God can do. Because I can stand here and tell you, I believe what God can do. I didn't see him do it too many times. I got a brand new living room suit. I mean, shoot, it's so many things. When I lost all my stuff in 2016, I lost the chairs, living room stuff, everything, beds. Listen, I didn't pay near a dime. I got a brand new living room suit. I got a brand new bed, and I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. It may not be a queen size, but doggone it, that thing will lay. Amen. It's more than what somebody else has. Somebody's sleeping in a cardboard box right now, and you think I'm going to sit up here and complain when I'm in a warm home? Sure ain't. No. So you have to pay attention to the resources that God has already given you as well. Do we have any questions? All right, y'all. We got 2 more minutes on here. Yeah, so we have to pay attention to what God has already given us. You know, it's not the money. It's God that really provides. It's not the money, because a majority of things that I got, I never saw the money for it. I don't know what somebody paid for it, but when it came to me, I didn't have to give any money for it. So it's not always the money. It's your mindset toward God. It's your mindset toward lack. What are you thinking when it comes down to your bills? Like, Amanda, can you name any situations where you might have got financially stuck?
Yeah, on my car payment, and I like, how I'm going to do this. Then I had another bill to pay. Then I had stuff from Madison School to pay.
And so how did that turn out? Was you stressing about it?
Yeah, bad. Because that would have been expecting me about $500 in the hole.
Wow. So how did you solve that problem?
I called them and told them I was going to pay them the next following week. They had to wait. And I got the money up with Madison School, got that situated, and then I got the other bill paid.
And so you know what, Amanda, I'm going to tell you something. Sometimes that's how God will do, too. He won't do it all at one time. He'll give us what we can handle. He'll give us what we can handle, because he already know if you put $5,000 in somebody's hands that's broke, that's not really disciplined, we're not going to spend that money on what we said we're going to spend it on. You know, it takes a really shown off spiritual disciplined person to say, hey, look, this money right here is going toward what I said it's going toward, and that's it.
Yep.
And it takes time to get to that point where you are like that. It took me a while to get to that point. But I've always kind of been like the type of person, if I say something, I do it, you know. But even in these last trials, you know, it was like one situation at a time. We sometimes try to get ahead of God and handle everything all at one time. But sometimes He's just going to give us what we can handle.
Yeah.
He's going to give us what we can handle.
I said, because she's in all them ballet classes, tap and water, that stuff adds up, paying that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It adds up. It really does. And, you know, like I said, you know, maybe you can reach out to some of the resources, you know, that y'all have down in them schools. Sometimes they have, like, little certificates or something that they give to people, you know, from the guidance counselor. That's another thing. Parents don't talk to the guidance counselors. Them guidance counselors can actually give you tons of resources that help with lots of financial expenses when it comes down to school stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, talk with the guidance counselor. They really do. They would sit there and tell you what programs they have. She may be eligible for some of them programs to get some of those fees